Hey friends, thanks for tuning in to Big Nate's Whiskey Lounge. I am Nate. Today I'm really excited to be having a very special bottle, something I picked up recently, something I wasn't sure I was going to, but then I saw it at my local store. Didn't think it was going to hit my local area, but it did. My local store had 2 bottles. I snagged one of them, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So it was one that I'd seen some of my other YouTube friends had. Cheech Ardolino had a bottle, and I know he liked it. And so that kind of made me want to find it. I also have been doing some research, and I believe I found a decent price for it. And so that, I actually have to go up here to grab it. This is going to be Wild Turkey Master's Keep 1. This is the 2021 batch. This is batch number 0001. This comes from Rick House 6. It is 101 proof. So 50.5%, so it's kind of like their Wild Turkey 101. It's the same proof point. And Master's Keep, I'm going to read this off to you because it's really cool. If you don't know Wild Turkey, that's all right, but listen, this is good stuff. So 2 legacies harmonized into one by Master Distiller Eddie Russell. Eddie Russell is the current Master Distiller. I mean, his dad is still technically a Master Distiller, Jimmy Russell. Jimmy Russell's a legend. His son Eddie is also a legend. But this is introducing the latest expression in the Master's Keep collection. So this is a running collection. This is just this batch, and this came out in 2021. Master's Keep 1 is a delightful harmony of the distinct tastes of father and son, Jimmy and Eddie. An artful blend of mature bourbons aged between 9 and 14 years. So we know this is at least 9 years old. Handpicked by Eddie and harmonized through a second maturation in specially toasted and charred oak barrels for a bold whiskey with beautiful balance, sweet honey, and subtle brown spice on the nose, which are followed by notes of vanilla, caramel, and butterscotch that evolves into a long toasted oak finish. Now, this is my first technically toasted whiskey. I actually wasn't really planning on getting into the game of that. However, I saw this, I wanted it. Now, as far as price point goes, I've seen it. I'm looking online right now, and I see that Drizzly has it for $5.99.99. I see it on a couple of different sites, Flaviar. I see it for both $458.99 as well as $737.99. So and I think that's technically called secondary, so that's expensive. I bought this for $189.99, which I think is a little bit more than some of my other friends have paid. I don't think Cheech paid this much for it. However, I saw it, I did want it, and I did some research, and I saw that it wasn't that bad of a deal. And I've said before in other videos, I use what's called the Booze app. It lets you build your bar, what you paid, and it also allows you to judge price points of whiskeys to determine whether or not you're getting a good deal. And so I used that to determine that compared to other people that were using the Booze app, I did get a good price on this. So let's give this a crack open. So that's cool. I forgot there was a thing inside. I'm going to read that. I'm going to pull this out first. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring it close to myself because right off this table, it goes straight down. I don't want to lose the bottle. So that's the bottle there. Nothing really on the bottle other than the fact that, well, then it's got some turkeys and Wild Turkey Master toasted oak finish. It's got where's distilled, and of course the Surgeon General's warning for the U.S. Let's see what it says inside. Crafted with conviction, a whiskey that's truly greater than the sum of its parts. One is Master Distiller Eddie Russell's tribute to the distinct tastes of father and son, artfully blending bourbon ages. My English is horrible. Artfully blending bourbon ages and character into one harmonious expression of boldness and balance. His father, famed Master Distiller Jimmy Russell's love for mid-aged bourbons is no secret. At home, you'll often find him sipping on 8 to 10-year-old whiskeys from the distillery. However, that's never swayed Eddie's passion for the complex characteristics that come with bourbon aged for longer in the Rick houses. To reflect his father's taste, Eddie hand-selected barrels aged between 9 and 10 years old, then selected his own small batch of carefully aged 14-year-old whiskey. Eddie crafted these profiles into one. The magic is in the second maturation using new oak barrels specially toasted and charred, resting in one of his favorite timber rick houses, Tyrone G, a first for Master's Keep. The result is a masterful unity of taste and flavor. Kind of gives stuff so it's really cool that it comes in that box. And so this is, gotta get this open here. I'm gonna have to cut it. But I'm really excited to try this. Now, Jimmy and Eddie do have a standard line from the Wild Turkey distillery called Russell's Reserve. I do have a bottle of the standard 10-year behind me. There are store picks available. Last year they came out with Russell's Reserve 13-year. Didn't hit my area, so we'll see if I ever get a chance to try that. And that apparently was kind of hit or miss. Some people loved it, some people didn't find it that great. But everybody loves the Russell. I was going to call them the Russell brothers, then I was going to call them the Russell twins. It's father and son, Jimmy and Eddie. Now, Eddie's really the master distiller, kind of doing most of what's actually happening there. However, you will see Jimmy there quite often in the gift shop. He signs bottles for people. A lot of people I'm friends with on Facebook and different groups will post that they met him, and they'll show a photo of. So that's what's really cool, is that there's a really cool spot on there for it to get signed. So if you were to buy one in the distillery and you got to meet Jimmy Russell, man, that's a great place for it to get signed. So let's give this a shot. There's a copper top on the cork, so that's really cool. Natural cork. Good color. So again, the 9 to 10 years old barrels are an homage to Jimmy, and then Eddie added in 14 years because he really likes older. He really likes older whiskeys. I'm not getting, like I said, this is my first experience with a a toasted finished bourbon. Nothing immediately standing out to me. Maybe it's a palate thing and not a nose. I don't know. But on the nose, nothing overly jumping out at me. It's good. I really like it. Again, love me bourbon. There's nothing necessarily jumping out at me. Caramel, apple, cherry, wood. Kind of classic notes here. There is some uniqueness on the palate. What's interesting, it's not flatness, I don't want to say that. It's just a different note. The finish is a little different. That's where I'm picking the toastedness up at. Again, my first experience with a toasted, let's get the cork corrected, because there's writing on the top, and I want to make sure that it's written because it says Master's Keep. There's writing on the top, I wanted to correct that. On the palate initially, classic bourbon, getting the vanilla, getting a little bit of brown sugar, caramel, and then on the back end, it changes. I'm going to take another sip before I describe that back end. Floral on the nose. It just kind of smooths out. And I don't like using the word smooth. And I don't mean that in like, oh hey, a lot of people use smooth when it's just like easy to take a shot of. I'm not saying that. But it just kind of levels out the way that a weeder levels out. That's really nice. Man, that's really good. So happy to have that in my collection. If you know where I live, I've kind of mentioned, well, I've said the region that I'm in, but I do know that I have some friends that watch my video that are from the area. There was one bottle left of this at that place. If you're looking for it, again, keep in mind it's $189.99. So if If you look online, you're going to see it for exorbitant amount of prices. This is a little bit more than what should be at retail, but if you're looking for it, I know where you can get a bottle. And I do recommend it. I actually do like it. I was kind of skeptical going into the toasted area because, oh, and I do get it. So toasted, they say they get marshmallow notes on it, and I do get that, but I'm not off-putted by it. I thought I would be, and I'm not. So I might have to open my horizons on toasted. So like people say like the Michter's Toasted Barrel or other just, wow, that whiskey wants to come back up. Not in a bad way, but I don't want to do that on my channels, sorry. The Michter's did a Toasted Barrel. Other distilleries, and I apologize, I'm not thinking of them off the top of my head, but other distilleries have started to go into the toasted finish direction. Actually, maybe Old Forester's kind of like that, I apologize. I like that a lot. I'm really surprised that I like that. I thought I wouldn't. I was like, toasted marshmallow, I don't want to go that direction. Because I mentioned in a video back in early January that wasn't my thing. I'm not a huge marshmallow person. And so I was like, I'm not going to bother getting into the toasted barrel because that's not, I don't want to get a bomb of marshmallow. But having had this toasted finished wild turkey, there's some spiciness in there. There's some butterscotch. Man, it's really good. I get what you all are doing. I get what you're all about. Man, that's good stuff. That's gonna do it. I don't want to keep rambling. Just wanted to share this bottle with you guys. I hope you guys get the opportunity to get a hand on it. Thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. And until then, cheers to the Russells. Have a good one.